Hey everybody, William here with the Carshare Academy. I hope you're doing fantastic. I want to spend a few minutes with you talking in this video about 2021, the year in review, and 2022. At the time that I'm making this video, it is December the 22nd, 2021. We are winding down toward the last business week of the month. It's going to be a big one for those of us who are hosting vehicles and running our Turo businesses. We're in prime time right now for the last couple weeks of December, so I hope all of your vehicles are out, that your lot or your parking lot is empty, and you're able to enjoy the holidays with your loved ones while your vehicles are rolling down the road making money for you. This video that I'm making for you today is pretty unscripted, casual, just going to kind of go with the flow here. But what I wanted to do today is do kind of a year in review with the Carshare Academy and talk a little bit about what's coming in 2022. Now, those of you watching this video, some of you are very familiar with the Carshare Academy. You've been through some of our programs. Maybe you've used some of our resources. Maybe you're in our Facebook group. You kind of know what we do and you know what we've been doing throughout the year. But there's probably some of you who are watching this who've never heard of the Carshare Academy until you stumbled across this YouTube video, and I want to spend a few minutes telling you about it. I'm going to begin by telling you that when we rolled into the year 2021, there was no plan whatsoever for anything called the Carshare Academy. I am a all-star power host in Detroit, Michigan. I've been a host with Turo since January of 2018. I started with one vehicle just as kind of a way to pay the payment and insurance on that vehicle every month. But within the first 30 days, I saw the business opportunity, and I very quickly scaled to 20 vehicles in 15 months. Was able to retire from the corporate world, do Turo full-time, as I then went about building some other businesses, doing the things in life that I really wanted to do instead of sitting in a corporate office taking orders from somebody else. So that's a little bit of my background. And when I rolled into 2021, I was really kind of thinking towards sunsetting my Turo operation. I really felt that 2021 would be the last year that I do this. I have other things in place that I really wanted to give some of my time to and become a little more location independent and be able to just live and work wherever I wanted to live and work. But something happened as we rolled into the spring of 2021. If you were hosting at that time, you know that we came into a pretty phenomenal time in our business cycle in the spring of 2021 as some of the pandemic restrictions were lifted and people began traveling again, and rental car companies were sold out of their vehicles because they had liquidated much of their fleets just to avoid bankruptcy. And we found ourselves here in this country, in the middle of this rental car crisis where people were going to cities all over the country needing rental cars for their vacations, and they couldn't find them. Or if they were able to find them, they were paying $400, $500, $600 a day just for a basic economy car. It was really pretty crazy. Well, there was a lot of folks across the country who also saw this happening, heard about Turo, and just like I did in 2018, they saw the business opportunity here and thought to themselves, oh gosh, I have a car sitting out my driveway I could put on Turo. Or I could go out and spend a few $1,000s on a car and put it on Turo and start making some money. And there was just a giant wave of brand new hosts, potential hosts, future hosts, looking at this Turo opportunity and really diving into it. And what I saw in the spring of 2021 is all of these new hosts coming into our host community, particularly in our Facebook groups, asking all of the questions that every new and aspiring host is going to ask and should be asking, and getting a lot of very bad information, being treated poorly for coming in as a newbie, asking newbie questions. But then some of the answers that they were getting were very, very bad answers, wrong answers, answers that would have gotten them into trouble financially, answers that would have gotten them into trouble with Turo, advice that if they had followed that advice, they would have started shooting holes in their business right from the very beginning. And now, 6-7 months later, they may not even still be in business. A lot of them aren't. So as I saw this happening, I am a teacher and a coach by nature. I have been my entire life. That's what I went to college for. But in my corporate role, I was always the guy called on to speak at conferences and put together seminars and training materials and things such as this. And as I saw all of these new hosts coming into the community, getting really, really bad, dangerous advice, I thought, you know what, I just want to help. I just want to help these folks get started, because Turo's been a pretty good thing for me, and it can be a pretty good thing, a really good thing for you if you do it the right way. So I kind of rolled the dice. I decided, you know what, I'm free Wednesday evenings. I'm just going to agree to meet with some folks on a Zoom call every Wednesday and answer questions, see how I can help people get started. And I kind of went into that with no real expectations, no real agenda other than to just help hosts. Well, as I started engaging more and more in these Facebook groups, offering this help in these groups and putting together these weekly Zoom calls, the Zoom calls were filling up. People were just flooding to the Zoom calls. They were flooding into my inbox. They were asking me to help them, to coach them, to teach them. They were asking me, how much will you charge to help me get into this Turo business? And I just kind of went with it. I thought, you know what, there's a demand here. There's a need here. People are really needing help. They're willing to invest the time and some money into learning this business. What can I do for the community here? So that got the ball rolling. We started putting things together. That led to other things. That led to other things. And I was sitting here a few minutes ago before I made this video, making a list of all the things that we have done in the Carshare Academy so far in 2021. And I have a list of 14 things that I'm going to cover with you real quickly here, just to give you this year in review. This amazing year that we've been through together. And then I'm going to look forward into 2022, but I'm also going to ask for your help. I'm going to ask you to share with me ways that we can better serve you, because the Carshare Academy has now become an actual thing. It's not just something that I'm doing in my spare time. I actually stepped away from and liquidated a whole other business that I had running to devote myself to the Carshare Academy and to helping hosts like you. So it's become a real thing. We have helped just under 900 hosts since May of 2021. 900. I got a screenshot right here showing you. Actually, it's a little over 800. Looks like it's at about 809 hosts who have come through the Carshare Academy in one way, shape, or form, either through our coaching, our group coaching, or through our market research, various things that we've done. But yeah, we have helped over 800 new hosts just in the last several months. It still blows my mind that we've developed and created this kind of community. So what I want to do now is I'm going to walk through all of the things that the Carshare Academy has done since spring of last year. And I'm going to start with kind of our flagship program. We call it the New Host Launch Sequence. And it is our 12-week group coaching program that we do 36 weeks out of the year. It's a 12-week program. We do it 3 times a year. And we just, at the time that I'm making this video, we just graduated our most recent group of new hosts. There were just under 50. I think we were right at 47 new hosts came through our program, and now their businesses are up and running, and they're doing great. So our flagship program really kind of grew out of those Wednesday night Zoom meetings that I was doing in the very beginning just to help people out. That turned into the New Host Launch Sequence, which is now a full 12-week program with live Zoom coaching meetings every Wednesday night, loads of information, loads of resources that we provide to the hosts who come through that program. So really proud of the New Host Launch Sequence. It's helped so many people. The second thing that the Carshare Academy has done is we have online on-demand classes now, topical classes. We have a class on insurance, protection plans, and the damage claim process. One of our most popular online classes is managing your Turo business financials, making sure you know how to do your monthly financials every year, build that profit and loss statement. That's our most popular class that people enroll in. We have a class on co-hosting other people's vehicles, and that too is a very popular class. So we have 3 online classes that we've developed in 2021, and a lot of people have come through those classes and been helped by them. We've also put together one-on-one coaching. Most weeks I have appointments scheduled on Tuesday nights where I do one-on-one coaching with new or aspiring hosts from around the country. They just go into the calendar, they schedule a block of time. We hop on a call together and we talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. So that is a pretty regular thing as well. I think some of the most important work we do, and it's the work that most of these 800 plus people who have come through the Carshare Academy take advantage of, and that is our market research. Right out of the gate, as soon as I started doing these Zoom meetings back in late May, early June, what I was finding out is people didn't really know how to choose the right kind of vehicles for their market. So I thought, well, I know how to do that because I went through a month-long process of studying my market before I even added my next vehicle onto my platform. And so I know how to do this, and it worked very well for me. So I put together a market analysis on a specific city, and I said, hey, here's an analysis on this city. Let me know if this is helpful to you. Well, people just started grabbing it up, and then they started ordering them for their specific cities. And we've now done market research on 100, I think we're at 112 cities that we've done market research on, and it's about a 20-page PDF that shows you the entire inventory in your city. It shows you the top performing brands, the top performing makes and models. It gives you a list of the best vehicles to choose right now based on the data. And it is really a really valuable tool. I've had so many hosts come back to me and say, Bill, I got the market analysis 4 months ago. I went to your vehicle recommendations. I bought one of those vehicles in the recommended list, and it's just been booked. It has been booked, and it's performing great for me. I hear that story all the time from people. So this is what consumes a lot of our time, developing these market analysis for cities around the country. Now that we've done about 112 of them, we're getting ready to go back and refresh the data on a lot of those and republish them, with new and revised data. But we're continuing to just crank out more cities on an almost weekly basis. Something else we put together shortly after that is called the Market Pulse. I threw this out in one of our Facebook groups. I said, you know what? I see a lot of people making a post saying, man, things sure are slow. All of my cars are sitting this week. Is it just me? Is there something wrong with my profile? Is there something wrong with my vehicle showing up in search results? And they really wanted to understand what was happening with them in the context of the greater market that they were in and even the national market. So I knew how to put together what we call the Market Pulse to help people understand whether the problem was just with their specific vehicles or if they were just experiencing the same thing that everybody else is experiencing in their market. So the Market Pulse was born on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday morning, we track, I think we're up to 35 cities now, where we track the booking activity for the upcoming week in those cities to help you understand what's happening with your vehicles in the context of what's happening with your market as a whole. And that people just wait for that. I see people diving into the website looking for it every Wednesday morning, sometimes before I even get it wrapped up and published. So and again, a very valuable tool. And what that's allowing us to do is we are also using that Market Pulse to create a 52-week trend line for all of these cities so that a host can look at the trend line and know, based on what happened in 2021, they know when the peak seasons are, when the dips are, when the spikes are, all of these different things that happen on a cyclical basis every year in their market. Now they're going to have this 52-week trend line to be able to predict and plan for those times and know when they're coming. So that's, again, a very valuable tool that people look forward to every week. We also started putting together some performance tracking tools. We developed a a pre-built Microsoft Excel workbook for creating your monthly profit and loss statement and understanding your financials. It's a very in-depth tool for a fleet of up to 10 vehicles. You just plug in your data. It does everything for you. It shows what your profit is and various different profit metrics for your fleet. So we have that. We have a utilization tracker. Our most recent tool that we've developed is a vehicle earnings projection tool. And this is just a free tool that we put out there, that we developed and put out there, where maybe you're thinking about a vehicle, going out and buying it and adding it to your fleet, but you're wondering, how much can I make with this car in my market? Am I going to be profitable with it? Well, we put together a tool to help you with that. You just plug in a little bit of data based on the data that we have on that market from the Turo database. We're able to then give you a pretty accurate projection on your earnings, but also on your profit. So that's been a tool that I think we've had over 50 people just grab that tool in the last week or so. So all of these different performance measurement tools we've created for the host community. Free swipe files. Now, a swipe file is something that is just out there. You can go grab it and you can use it. And one of the most popular is our guest messages. It's just a PDF with a series of 8 guest messages, an 8-message sequence to send out to your guest from the moment they book the car until an hour after they bring it back and you want them to give you a review. So we found a lot of folks in the host community didn't really know what kind of messages they should be sending, how they should be communicating with their guests. We put that together and we offered it free. And we have a lot of other swipe files out there just like that. We have a step-by-step guide to your first booking. It's called Booked for the Very First Time. It's a 22-page PDF that tells you everything you need to know to get ready for the very first booking as a Turo host. We have a step-by-step guide to navigating the claims process when you have that first accident, that first damage claim. This is when a lot of people kind of freeze up and panic. Oh gosh, what do I do? My car's been damaged. Well, we've created a step-by-step guide for that as well. So we have all of these resources. Marketing material creation. This is just something that kind of developed. A host asked for it. They messaged and said, hey, can you help me create some business cards with a QR code on it? Sure, no problem. So we started developing business cards, QR code tracking, those sort of things for hosts as well. The diagnostic and action plan for underperformance is something that we put together in, I believe it was October, as much of the country was coming into a slowdown. A lot of hosts were kind of worried about the utilization and the profitability of their fleets, and they felt like, business just isn't going the way that I thought it would go. So what we did is we put together a 35-point diagnostic process to help evaluate your operation. And we dive into 35 different points associated with your Turo business. We look for strengths, we look for weaknesses, we look for areas to improve, and then we put together an action plan for that vehicle to get it back on track, booking the way you need it to book, and earning what you need for it to be earning. So that is out there available to the host community. It's called the Diagnostic and Action Plan. On-location meetups and training days. I have so much fun with these. We have done on-location meetups in Tampa, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Chicago, Phoenix, and we're planning our 2022 schedule now for our meetups. And this is just a fun time where 20, 30 of us all get together at a restaurant for dinner and drinks. I fly into town, hang out with folks. And what we're beginning to do now is when we schedule those meetups, we're also adding some learning opportunities to those as well. So you can be looking for those in 2022. Those are just a lot of fun. Photographer and services directory. Again, this was just born out of a need. People making posts in social media saying, hey, I need help with my pictures. I don't know how to take the best kind of pictures for my vehicle listings. Are there any photographers out there? So we went to work finding some of the best photographers in the country, building a directory on our website where you can just go to the photographer directory, find a photographer right there in your state or in your city, contact them and schedule your photo shoot. So that is the first service provider we added to the directory. And you can be looking for some more different types of services to be added as well in 2022. The vehicle selling marketplace. Again, most of this stuff, you'll see this common theme here. Most of this stuff that we have developed over the last 6-7 months has just come out of hosts expressing a need. I need help with this. So one of the things that came out in a conversation was, I need to sell some of my vehicles. They're just not performing. I just want to sell them. I'd rather sell them to another Turo host in a city where they might do better. So we went to work. We built a vehicle marketplace on our website where hosts can list their vehicles for sale. Hosts who are looking for vehicles can come to the directory, shop for vehicles, and we can keep these vehicles within our host community. They may not be doing well in one city, and they might do well in another. And it's keeping us all connected and serving one another. So we have the vehicle selling marketplace, something that began in September. And I'm really excited about this. This is really going to go big time in 2022, and that is our marketing agency. We created the All-Star Auto Rental Marketing Agency because, again, we saw this need. We were coming into our slow time of year for much of the country. People had way too many empty days on their booking calendars, and I spent 30 years of my life doing branding and marketing and business development. I knew how to market people's vehicles to help them get additional bookings and additional earnings. So we created the All-Star Auto Rental Marketing Agency, and I'll drop a link to that down in the description. But we're live in 5 cities now. We're live in Charlotte and Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, and Fort Lauderdale. We're about to go live in Orlando, Florida, and we have 20 plus more cities that we're going to be going live in 2022. We're going to be doing marketing for All-Star hosts all across the United States and helping you fill your calendars with bookings that you may not have gotten otherwise. So that's becoming a pretty big deal. And then finally, number 14, you may not have heard much about this yet because we're still in the planning phases, but we are putting together Carshare Conference 2022 in Austin, Texas, the last weekend of September. Turo hosts, Carshare hosts from all over the United States are going to come to Austin for a 3-day conference. We're going to have all kinds of learning, all kinds of fun. We're going to have business partners there who can help with things like vehicle financing and insurance and technology and things like that. So really excited about the Carshare Conference 2022 that we're putting together. So those are the 14 things. Man, it's been a busy year. I can stop and take a drink. It's been such a busy year. This has taken up a great deal of my time this year, and it's been fun. It has been so much fun to see hosts really getting some genuine benefit out of the work that we're doing. So that's the year in review. Let me just share with you a couple of things that we do have on the agenda for 2022. One is a city-by-city business intelligence portal. And this is going to be an online portal where you can log in, you can go click through to your specific city, and you're going to see all sorts of fresh data in that portal, about your city. You're going to see booking activity. You're going to see top performing vehicles. You're going to see all sorts of data in this portal for your specific city. So we're still working on that. That hopefully we'll be able to get that out to some of our first cities in the first quarter of 2022. A lot of you may be familiar with the demand index that is on the CarSync platform. That's a great tool. Ours is going to be more comprehensive. It's going to have more data to really help you plan and execute your business. I think you're going to love it. Number 2 that is on tap for 2022 is the expansion of our associate coaching team. Now, one of the things I realized pretty early on with the Carshare Academy, when I began to see that, this is really becoming a thing and we're serving a lot of people and there's a future here. One of the things I understood very early on is if it only revolved around me as the lead coach, it would be very limited and probably would not be able to grow to its fullest potential and serve you in the greatest ways that it could serve you. And I began putting together a coaching team who could help folks in various regions around the country who are wanting to get into this business, come alongside of them as a coach in their area who knew their area, but also who brought some different skill sets and talents and knowledge to the business that I particularly don't have. So we currently have a team of 3 associate coaches who work alongside of me. We have Anthony, who's located down in Tampa. He's responsible for coaching in the Southeast region. We have Natasha Lee, who is in the Washington DMV area, who is helping us with coaching in the Mid-Atlantic area. We have Robbie up in Pennsylvania, who is helping us to begin working with coaches in the New England area. We're about to bring someone into our team from Nashville, who is going to help us with the Mississippi Valley area. But our plan is to expand to 9 coaches across the United States. And there's really 2 reasons behind this. Number one, I've already shared with you, to help the Carshare Academy become the greatest version of itself that it can be, with people coming on board with different talents and skill sets. But secondly is, and I want to make sure that I say this in the right way and come across with the right tone. You have probably seen throughout social media this past year a lot of coaches in the Turo ecosystem. A lot of people out there with their Instagrams and their Facebooks and their Twitters and whatever they have. Folks who have jumped into the game, and they've gotten maybe 20 or 30 trips under their belt, and now they're an expert and they're a guru, and they're putting together courses and they're teaching people how to do things. On the one hand, I applaud them for the drive. There's a income drive, but maybe there's a drive to help there as well. But when you really kind of look beneath the surface, a lot of what's being taught by these folks is either not fully developed because they just don't have the experience yet to really coach at that level. There's even some bad and dangerous things out there that are being taught by some of these people. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to establish the Carshare Academy name as a trusted, credible place to learn the Turo business. And by creating this team of coaches across the United States, we want people to be able to come across a Carshare Academy coach and instantly know, because of the name, oh, this is somebody I can listen to. This is somebody I can trust because they're a coach with the Carshare Academy. And I know that the Carshare Academy is a legit, credible organization. So that's why we're doing that. So our goal of expanding to 9 coaches serving all 50 states in 2022 is a pretty exciting goal for me. The third thing I'll share with you is the development of the Turo Nation online ecosystem. Some of you may already be a part of this, but it's still pretty new. It's still under development. But we are creating our own private social network for the Turo host community off Facebook. It's our own private network that operates like Facebook, except without the Facebook. But we have our social network experience there. We have our online classes. We have groups. We have events, all within the Turo Nation ecosystem. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is we just don't want to be relying on Facebook, because at any given point in time, we have a Facebook group of 3,000 people now. The Carshare Academy Facebook group has about 3,000 people. It's growing every week by 50 to 100 people. But at any given point in time, somebody could hack my account, go into the Carshare Academy group and disable it, turn it off, delete it, and it would be gone forever. And we just don't want to be that vulnerable. We're creating a pretty special community here, and we want to protect it. So that is part of the reason why we're moving it off of Facebook. So go to turonation.com. You'll find us there, and go ahead and join up. And the last thing I'll share with you is informational webinars. Now, we have our online classes that we teach, which are pretty extensive, but we're also in the process of developing just some webinars. We've already done one with a tax firm that specializes in the peer-to-peer space. It's a webinar about how to do your taxes, and which is a very hot topic with Turo hosts. So we have that one. But some of the others that we have planned is one on insurance. We're going to get together with an insurance company that serves the Turo community and do a webinar with them. We want to do webinars on things like going commercial, enabling you to drop down to that 92% plan on the Turo platform and provide your own commercial insurance. A lot of folks want to do that. They just don't know how. We want to do a webinar on that. webinars on things like airport activity, setting up parking systems and shuttle systems, and all of these things for folks who are really wanting to go big with this Turo business. Those are the kind of webinars that we're going to be putting together in 2022. So, I've covered a lot. We've done a lot in 2021. We got 4 major things on our plate that we're thinking about in 2022. And here's where I want to ask for your help. The Carshare Academy is here to stay. Okay, as long as there is a need for what we are doing, we're going to be here to meet those needs. But we want to make sure that we're actually spending our time and our resources on meeting legitimate needs. We don't want to just be engaged in activity for the sake of being engaged in activity. We want to be serving needs. We want to be helping you solve the problems that you most need solved with your Turo business. So what I'd like for you to do in the comments below is just share with us some of the things that you could use some help with, things that you would like to see the Carshare Academy do in 2022 to meet a need for you in your business that we're not currently meeting. Some of these 14 things that we started doing in 2021, we might evaluate some of these and think, you know what, this really isn't meeting that big of a need. Do we need to be investing time and resources and energy in this? Maybe we need to stop this, and maybe we need to focus on one of the things down here in the comments section that 14 different hosts have raised their hand and said, hey, I need help with this. So that's it's real important for us to get that feedback from you, because that's why this thing began, to meet needs, to help you be successful, and that's really the only reason why it's going to continue. And if we're no longer meeting needs, if there's nothing else that we can do to serve the community, then we can all go do something else. But as long as those needs are there, we're here to help you. So this has been fun. Thanks for hanging out for a few minutes, learning about the Carshare Academy, learning about what we're going to be planning for 2022. And please drop down in the comments. Let us know how we can help. And we will see you in 2022 and beyond. I hope you have a fantastic year. I hope your business just performs above and beyond your expectations. And just please know that we are here to help you every step of the way if we can. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Happy hosting. We'll see you in the next video.